Hello, good morning, everyone. Hi, welcome to Summer at Edges, where it's a flip-flop hammock kind of day. My name is Kelly, and I'm the grateful pastor here. It's my joy to get to welcome you this morning. I want to let you know that this Sunday is a bit different. It's actually not that much different than any Sunday at Edges. We're never quite sure what will happen on any given week, and that's because much of it gets written by you after we get here together. By that, what I mean is that worship at Edges is impossible without our active participation. We make it that way on purpose. The definition of the word liturgy means the work of the people. So when we come to worship together, we see that as a verb. Worship is what we do together toward God. So, at Edges every week, we try to construct worship possibilities that aren't passive, but that are active. So every time we gather, we do things like encourage discussion around the tables. And we don't know what it is that God's going to do with that. We write prayers and we pray them together all week long. We don't know what God will do with that. Sometimes some of us light candles at the prayer rail and kneel to pray there. Others of this, when we see folks gather there, we pray silent prayers for whatever it is they're praying along with them. It's an active thing that we do together. We respond every week to the invitation that Christ is always offering to meet him at the table. So we literally get up out of our chairs and come to meet with the one who's calling out to us. And today we're going to practice paying attention because that's what we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks. I don't know about you, but I've learned that talking about something and actually doing it are two entirely different things. I had an experience 4 weeks ago now. Some of you know that my daughter rides horses. She's ridden them for 6 years, 7, 8 years. Where is Ivy Ann? 7 years. 7 years, at least 6 days a week, I've stood at that farm and participated and watched and helped clean and get horses ready, watch her ride horses. A month ago, I decided it was time to do something new in my life, so I signed up for my own horseback riding lessons. Now, I've been at the barn for 7 years, so that makes me an expert, right? Until it was my time to tack up the horse, and I didn't have the first clue what to do. I was so embarrassed. And it was the moment where I recognized that watching something forever is not the same thing as doing it. So today we're going to practice, actually do the thing we've been talking about. Do some active reflection together. As I mentioned, for 3 weeks now, we've been talking about paying attention. We've talked about 3 different categories. The first week we talked about paying attention to the ordinary in life. The second week we talked about paying attention to eternity, to the stuff that will last forever. And then last week we talked about paying attention to community. We wondered together what God might do in our lives if we focused on what's simple, what's forever, and what's relational. That kind of focus for most of us would require some rewiring, would require the doing of some things differently. We'd really have to pay attention. So this morning for our worship, we're going to practice paying attention. Call it whatever feels right to you. Call it reflection or rest. Call it letting your mind wander with God. Think of it as a choose your own adventure from here forward, the time today. Here's how it's going to work. And if you're new, just know we do stuff like this all the time, and it's okay to not be very good at it. And I would just like to tell you that Edges doesn't have a reputation for following directions very well. So whatever you do from here on out, it's a choose your own adventure. I do have a few directions for you, so if you'll listen closely, I think it will help to focus your time in the next few moments. First, where will I worship? Might be your first question. Let me tell you about some things that we've made available to you. First, you might choose to stay in this worship space. Our lead worshipers will lead in music over the next few moments. And if you'd like, you may stay in this room, especially if music is a way God speaks to you. You can just choose to stay here when we say go in a few moments. Second, you probably noticed there are many things outside today. So if second, the outdoors are often where you meet God, you may want to go outside when we release in the next few moments. There are hammocks all over the campus. Let me tell you where most of them are. So if you really want a hammock, you want to be out first. When you walk out the front doors to the building, across the parking lot is the cemetery. Many hammocks are hanging in the trees between the parking lot and the cemetery. Or just to the left when you walk out, way up in that grassy area there, that's all ours, and there are many hammocks there as well. There are also chairs all over campus under trees, mostly in shade. Choose one of those if you'd like. There are also many blankets stacked outside the doors. You can grab a blanket and go take it wherever you wish for the next little while. Third, if you'd rather be inside but music isn't your thing, we have a new family room. If you walk out these doors, straight through the next set of wooden doors, and to the right, there's a family room with comfortable couches. That might be a place where you'd like to be. Basically, anywhere you'd like to be all over campus to rest and reflect. Again, it's a choose your own adventure. The next question, what would you maybe want to use to focus your worship to help you pay attention this morning? There's a sheet on every table right now. It looks like this. This sheet will take you back through some of the things we've been doing for the last 3 weeks. If you'd like to be that directed in your focus, then you may want to take this sheet and use it as a way to focus when we go out in a few moments. On the front side of the scriptures we've used from the last 3 weeks, they might help jog your memory. And on the back side, I've called related. That means those are some of my favorite quotes that didn't make it into the last 3 weeks. So use those if they'll be helpful to you while we worship in a few. Another thing that might help focus your worship, if you're a journaler, as some of us are, on the back table right there where the candles are lit, there are about 6 different journal prompts. There are some pencils and some notebooks. If journaling is something you love to do, grab a prompt or two. Take those with you wherever you'd like to be. As always, we have coloring pages right there by the back door. If some of you can think better when you have something kind of mindless and artsy to do, maybe that might be a way that would help to focus your worship. After you've had some time to be by yourself or maybe with another person or two this morning, to focus on paying attention to whatever it is you and God would communicate to each other, you'll hear a bell, and it's not an obnoxious bell. It will sound like this. And I'll ring it everywhere. You can hear it all over the campus, wherever you are. So you don't need to worry about time. I'll ring the bell in a little while, and that'll be your call to come back in and we'll participate in communion together. I hope this can be a time for all of us where God can do something that might not happen if we were in a regular worship mode together. We'll just see where it is that it takes us. Would you all stand now and we'll join together in a collective prayer. Our lead worshipers are going to go ahead and start playing some music. And then a prayer is going to appear on the screen. It seems like a good way to frame our time together. If we would start out together as a community talking to God, praying a prayer that we hope God would honor, that we'd like to live into in the next few moments. And then after we pray together, I'll end with amen, and you go where it is that you need to be. God, in our search for
beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you. So take me back to the beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you. So take me back to the beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you. So take me back to the beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you. So take me back to the beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you. So take me back to the beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you. So take me back to the beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you. So take me back to the beginning when I was young, running through the fields with you.
As we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? As we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? As we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? As we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? As we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? And as we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Yeah. Lord, as we cry, would you meet a God-shaped hole in my heart. There's a God-shaped hole in my heart. There's a God-shaped hole in my heart that only you can fill, that only you can fill, that only you can fill, that only you can fill. There's a God-shaped hole in my heart. There's a God-shaped hole in my heart. There's a God-shaped hole in my heart that only you can fill, that only you can fill, that only you can fill, that only you can fill. Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Yeah, Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? I need you to fill the void. 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 Lord, we need you to fill the void. 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 And as we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? As we draw so near to you, would you draw so near to us? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet us where we are? Lord, as we cry, would you meet everyday kind of love. Every morning a minute. Oh, this love is an everyday kind of love. Every evening a This love is an everyday kind of love. Every morning a minute. Oh, this love is an everyday kind of love. Every evening a minute. And there is no chain this love can't break. 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 To be free, this love is an everyday kind of love. Every morning a minute. This love is an everyday kind of love. Every evening a minute. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me you're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. I'm so forgetful, but you always remind me you're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So I come, Lord, I come, Lord, I come to tell you I love you, to tell you I need you, to tell you there's no better place for me than in your arms, to tell you I'm sorry for running in circles, for placing my focus on the ways, not on your face. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So forgetful, but you always remind me you're the so forgetful, but you always remind me. You're the only one who brings me peace. You're the only one who brings me peace. So I come, Lord, I come. As we gather back together, would you guys mind to stand and sing this song with me? Lord, I want to rush on ahead in my own strength when you're right here. Lord, I want to rush on ahead in my own strength with you're right here. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice. And I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking. Lord, I wanna love like you. I wanna feel what you feel. Wanna see what you see. Lord, I wanna love like you. Wanna feel what you feel. Wanna see what you see. Not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking. I'm not in a hurry when it comes to your spirit, when it comes to your presence, when it comes to your voice. I'm learning to listen, just to rest in your nearness. I'm starting to notice you are speaking. Open my eyes, wanna see you. Open my ears, wanna hear you speak. Lord, tell me your thoughts, what's on your mind. And I'll be your friend, wanna see through your eyes. Lord, open my eyes, I wanna see you. Open my ears, I wanna hear you speak. Lord, tell me your thoughts, what's on your